What an amazing time of year fall is. And I am so excited to finally be making this video. It's been a long time coming, so join me. So, because we're coming up on the autumn equinox during this week, this is the Saturday before it, the 22nd through the 24th, I wanted to go on and get this out now, ahead of everything. So, I'm going to have this in chapters, and all the timestamps are in the description if there's any part that you would like to skip. So far with Amanita, I am ending my second full year using Amanita, and it's been amazing and beautiful, all of the things that Amanita has taught me. And some of you know that one of the things it has done is made me really get in touch with and feel my Nordic ancestry, ancestors, and roots. And along with that comes paganism. Well, I'm not, I don't believe in deities really. And what I do in my life is I listen to my own energy and what I sense and feel it is time to be doing, or what's important right now, where I'm feeling moved to think about and reflect on what things win. What do I need to be focusing on right now? And it turned out that each time that I do that, there's a correlating pagan holiday or Wiccan holiday or astrological event, astronomical event. And I believe that this isn't something written necessarily by man in some ceremony or cult or religion, but that it is the result of all of mankind's time on this planet, living with this planet and living in harmony with this planet and moving through these feelings as an entity, as an energy being, as a people. And we can't escape it. It's in our DNA. And so that's not surprising to me. And I don't think what I am about to say in this video will be surprising to you. So this is the beginning of what to me feels like the most sacred time of year. Because while spring is fun, and you're like, yes, finally, it's beginnings. And beginnings are interesting and they're fun and they can be distracting and they're full of promise and joy. But to me, the most important time of year is when projects are ending and when you are beginning to look inward and shift and change. Because this is when you go inward. But there's more to it than that, because if you are hurting and sick and distraction is the only way you can get by, then this mushroom helps us, eases us into the fall and says, you know what, you can be gentle on yourself. You don't have to dive knee deep into this and get into deep cognitive behavioral therapy here. You can take it easy. I have the window open. It's awesome. And so it's not about beating yourself up and going inward and excavating your demons, although you absolutely can. It's about the balance of gratitude and death, celebration, and looking inward. And I'm going to help you with it. And the reason this is important, the reason fall is so important, is because what it asks all of us to do is to do this together as a ritualistic celebration, because we want to celebrate. You feel it. If there's a reason why people love fall and the colors, fire, and the cooling off of the temperatures, it makes you want to do something. But if you're like me, you've lost your family, your traditions that you were born to. If you were born into religion or religious cultism and all of the community that gave you, you left that. If you grew up in an abusive home, then you don't have them anymore to participate in your rituals with, and you had to slowly separate yourself from it a little at a time. And eventually you may have found yourself with no community and with no rituals and with no way to celebrate or mark these events. And part of my wanting with this channel was to create that for us. And so we have the forum, but what I'm about to do, and it's very important, and I hope that you hear this. Earlier, I had that feeling that I should start doing live videos once a month. And my first one, nobody showed up. And so I kind of felt like, no, I won't do it. I'll wait till my channel's bigger. And then someone commented, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name, your username. If you build it, they will come. And I was like, of course, that's ridiculous to not do this. I mean, if I build it, the people who need to be there will be there. But now that this is happening, now it's important. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a live video on the second Saturday of every month. And you're going to bring a tea. And we're all going to drink the same tea. And we're going to meet, because our ancestors, even though we lived tribally, they still gathered, they traveled, they worked to make gifts. They worked to make things that they were going to trade, barter, and sell. They worked to make sure they looked the best that they could, because that's where marriages happened or the disillusionment of associations happened, and networking and business networking happened, alignments and associations and exchanges happened. These were very important times. There were so many important things that happened at these gatherings, and we are social beings. We need a community. But how can we find community today when fall has been co-opted by corporations and football teams? It's about competition, sports, and spending. And then Thanksgiving, which was not about celebrating the destruction and genocide of indigenous peoples in America. I mean, what the hell is that? They took over a celebration and a holiday that already existed for celebrating the equinox and gratitude. So all of our celebrations and rituals as a society have been co-opted and commercialized. So it's extremely important that to heal our minds from what society has done, the way it has taken us away from nature, the way it has co-opted our very important ties to the earth and our very important celebrations and commercialized them and helped to make us off balance and sick. This mushroom helps us learn, okay, you can use me and I will help get your neurotransmitters back in balance, but also use me to get in touch with your ancestors and your past. Pay attention to this thing about time and how important it is. I have a video about time. I'll put a card here. And this is the celebration ritual mushroom. And it says, you as humans need me and you need this. So as your Amanita dreamer, I'm taking it upon myself to walk you here and celebrate with me. So here's something that I'm going to ask you to do in preparation for these celebrations. So I did my research on tea, and this is the tea that I've settled on that I would like for us to all use. They don't know I exist. This isn't a sponsored video. It's called David's Tea. You can get it on Amazon. And this is the after dinner tea. Let me tell you some of the flavors in it. I think it'll appeal to just about everybody. Cotton candy. There's no sugar added to these. They're all herbals. The Tranquility one, Alpine Punch, birthday cake, which, oh God, is amazing. And that will be used to celebrate the new year. Super Ginger, Cinnamon Rooibos. Forever Nuts, Peppermint, Serenity Now, Just Peachy, Strawberry Parfait, Sweet Tart, Cotton Candy, Tulsi Tranquility, Alpine Punch. So there's something for everyone and for every season. So go on and get this. I'll put the link to it in the description. I finally got my Amazon affiliate link, so it's a really short link now. Get it whenever you can. It's like $35, but there's so many of them in here, and it should last you through most of the year that we're going to be doing this. And so if you order it today, most of you will have yours by Wednesday, and I will be doing my first live video this coming up Saturday. I don't think it's the second Saturday, but it's our first one. But after that, it will always be the second Saturday. We will all celebrate and mark every month together. And the reason is, firstly, for whatever holidays we're celebrating, whatever event is happening celestially in the sky or with the weather. But then also, it helps us have community. And my hope is that you don't just write in the chat part of it to me, but to each other. And that you look forward to this. And that you can use it to anchor once a month. So let's talk about why fall is important. What fall is going to be asking us to do is to finally breathe. And if your life has been chaotic, if your life is chaotic, if you're just really coming down, if you've been living in 2020, or if it's after 2020 and your year has been pretty similar to 2020 and chaotic, it's easy to stay chaotic through the summer. But what fall asks us to do is just take a moment to go, oh my God, shut up, and to shut the door and just breathe for a second, man. It is important that you learn to slow down and breathe sometimes, but it doesn't mean you gotta dig deep. It can mean that you just do a little gratitude, do a little breathing, do a little appreciating the notes and flavors and tastes of your tea. Because a very important thing that I'm going to start helping you with and teaching you is the importance of mindfulness and simplicity. All of these things sound ridiculous when you are living in a state of panic and anxiety, when it seems like no matter what you do, you can't win, when it seems like life is chaotic, even though you're working to make it sane. I've been there. And with all of my years of therapy, with every coping technique, EMDR and EFT and hypnosis and meditation, probably 150 books, 15 journals full. Looking back through all the trauma, pain, and suicidal ideation, I can tell you there were a few extremely important things that I got in my arsenal that would wind up being extremely important for my ability to heal once I found Amanita. And I'll be sharing those with you. And they're universal. They're for everyone. But the thing is, they're sneaky. And because they don't hit you over the head like modern medicine does, it seems stupid. And it's probably why most of you are ignoring my tea as a ritualistic practice video. Or you're ignoring my tea recipes altogether. Or you're not coming to the live things. Or you think my nature walks are boring. Because you're used to a world that screams at you. And can I ask you a question? Is it possible that all that screaming is the problem? And maybe, if I can help you turn the volume down, if you work with me, maybe it seems subtle, but it could be the beginning of a path of tools that will start to work for you over time. And those of you that said you got nothing out of Amanita, I have a video about that. You probably did. But it was probably a very subtle thing that maybe looking back now had more of a profound effect than you thought. And the same is true now of tea ceremonies, of meditation, of community, of ritual, of mindfulness, simplicity, nature walks. These things work. And so, come with me, and we're going to do this. And so the first tea that I would like to talk to you about is going to be the September fall tea. So we have lots to celebrate. We have the equinox coming up this week. It happens usually around the middle or the end of September. And then we have Samhain, which society co-opted and turned into Halloween. And that's where we start to celebrate death and the endings of things. And it's similar to the Mexican Day of the Dead. And also the Egyptians had a very similar event and celebration. So Halloween, and we'll talk about that in October when we do our live in October. And so then we have our thankfulness celebration in November. And then we have the winter solstice in December, which got co-opted and turned into Christmas. And this mushroom was involved in all of these celebrations. And that is why it is so important, and what this mushroom is teaching me and asking me to teach you. So what I'm going to do now is show you a cinematic that I made that I've been working on now for about a week of going and getting apples. And I'm going to be going back again and getting more. And then I will be uploading the tea recipe, the apple tea recipe, in the middle of this week. And then join me next Saturday for a live video where we will be talking about the ritual, the celebration, and the thoughts and the things that we need to work on for the equinox, the fall equinox. Thanks for joining me, beautiful people. I love you.